As long as I can remember, I've picked up fossils and just been intrigued how this happened, how something got captured or caught in stone and preserved. My name is Steve Bodi. I am an amateur paleontologist. So I go out west in the United States and hunt for buried treasure. We find fossils and then bring them home to this shop here in Martinsville and work on them. My brother-in-law, Mark, started this hobby and kept asking me to go along with him, and I finally relented and said, okay, I'll go. That very first trip, they were teaching me things, what is a bone and what isn't. They can look a lot like the rocks, so it's hard to tell, like, pick up your foot, you're standing on one right now, Steve. But we were finding things that were identified as dinosaur bone, and I couldn't believe it. And I picked up every single little scrap that you should not collect. I mean, they were on the surface, broken pieces that don't go together. But we also found other interesting things, plant fossils, including the fossilized remains of pine cones. Sometimes there's even microscopic pollens. But after 12 hours, I was still intrigued and still out there searching. We continued that trip to go to other places, and through that had the real pleasure of digging up and excavating a big specimen, this dinosaur that we've called Juliet. We were in rural Montana. We were in high plains, desert, badlands environment. Our friend who had found it had exposed part of the tail, and it just kept going, so we mapped the whole specimen while it was in the ground. But there was evidence that you could see where the outside of the animal's muscle and skin were, which sounded really neat, but it also made the whole dig much harder. Instead of the bones, which may have been 6 inches in diameter, we captured almost 3 feet before we could put a plaster, what we call field jacket, to keep it preserved in place. It turned out to be a hadrosaur, and specifically it's an Edmontosaurus. It was huge. The tail itself, with the big part of Montana still around it, weighs almost 10,000 pounds, and the chest cavity that has the ribs and the vertebrae of the back weighs more than 2,000 pounds. And then we have the arms and legs that we were able to capture those in individual casts. It is most common that when you find a dinosaur, you do not find every single bone. You were counting the cervical, the neck vertebrae to get to the end. We're getting very close to where the skull should be, so we expanded the dig and we kept digging and kept digging, and unfortunately no head. So our dinosaur is headless. Juliet became quite an adventure that took us 3 full summers to collect and then bring home. This is the world headquarters of the Southern Indiana Paleontology Institute. SIPI is an organization we formed to excavate and prospect for fossils, to educate and have interns join us on digs, as well as here in this workshop. We hope to grow and be a center for education. We may be a stretch. I'm the janitor, the president, I'm everything. I take out the trash. I am not a professionally trained scientist. I'm learning and enjoying the study of it, and I want to do it all. But the hadrosaur that we named Juliet is bigger than I alone can work on. We hope to get it into a special lab where a team of people can work on the preparation and cleanup to get them ready to be displayed and studied. And hopefully do that in front of an audience or at a place where people can watch. I've got bigger dreams. There's dinosaurs in Mongolia. There are dinosaurs in South America. I would love the opportunity to dig not just in the United States. So all that is in our future, I hope.